raw and unscripted. KSU. Quick, tactical conversations from the heart of the powersports industry. In this business, time is torque. So hit the ignition, twist the throttle, and let's fire it up.
Mark Sheffield, episode 1, raw and unscripted KSU. How about that intro, man? You like that?
It's working.
Hey, super excited to jump on here. The concept is awesome. We're going to be completely unscripted. I have a piece of paper with a couple metrics and notes, but I'm Kyle Reid. I'm with Vision AST. We're data and analytics. We're in the power sports and specialty market. We pull metrics, and we try to make dealers' performance better with metrics. Mark, go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
Mark here, currently unemployed, spent 35 years in the power sports industry, and pretty much all I know at this point in time.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited. These are supposed to be quick, to the point. We're going to pick Mark's brain, understand what he knows in the space, get some dealer feedback. I'm going to pull a bunch of metrics along the way. We're going to do some research, so I'm excited. Week 1, though, let's talk sales. Metrics that matter, Mark. What are your top 4 metrics in the space, daily, weekly, or monthly? What are the 4 things that you would tell someone to focus on and drive home on a daily, weekly, monthly basis on just the sales side?
You know, for me, anytime I'm looking for an important metric, I'm looking for something that is not a consolidation of a whole bunch of other metrics. So it's something that a dealer can focus on, and if they understand that that is high or low or in the middle, that it's something that they can work on to improve the operation. You know, when it comes to the sales department, when I'm looking at new dealers, typically I like to see where they're at for new and used margins. So what are they doing? And I really like to look at the turn ratio of inventory by brand. So how is that brand sitting on their showroom floor? Is it turning? Is it earning its keep? And also like to look at gross profit as a ratio to the amount of inventory that a dealer carries, just because that's kind of a big picture on the health by the individual brand.
I pulled Q2 numbers of our dealer base, our national average. What do you think the top 3 brands are for quarter 2 that we saw? Margin-wise, gross margin percentage.
Talking any of the major brands, I would say that CF Moto is probably carrying the top spot. You know, as a minority brand, not a lot of volume. I think Royal Enfield typically carries a pretty high margin, but not sure that I'm going to include them in the majors at this point in time. And if I had to guess right below that, I would say probably Kawasaki and BRP or Polaris battling in 3rd place, although I think margins with some of those companies are a little bit tough to decipher because of all the back-end money and how that actually flows into the P&L.
No. CF Moto, Honda is number 3 for us, 19.1%. So
19?
Yeah. Gross margin. That's front and back end. Profit margin.
Right.
What we saw too, rattle off some numbers here. New sales gross average 1665 for new units. F&I new gross average about 750. And then for used 1775 on the front end, and then used we're about 592. That's the numbers we saw. These are Q2 averages. I'm looking forward to the next couple calls. We'll pull Q3 and go through these, and then look at the shifts and see what's happening between Q2 and Q3. But what else? Anything else that you would pay attention to or focus on? You rattled off a couple there, but anything else?
You know, I think the other key thing is just dealers getting a handle on their inventory. So I think that the majority of dealers in the country have turned over inventory management to their manufacturers or their vendors. And I think dealers need to take that back. And, you know, a key thing when I'm going into a dealer and looking around is I want to look at everything that's 180 days or older. And I think that dealers need to have a process in place to deal with that. And, you know, realistically, I think owner, GM, sales manager, once a month, they should have that inventory list out. And every vehicle that's 180 days or older, we're touching it, be it new or used. You know, why are we not selling it? You know, is it not built? Is it not clean? Is it not ready to roll? And what can we do to make these go away?
It's interesting. We've gotten a lot of feedback for our platform and adding an inventory piece, which we started to look at and explore a bit. So really interested to hear feedback from dealers and GMs and managers out there to understand what they're looking at and what they're looking for and possibly adding that to our platform. I think that's an important piece. I think you make a good point there. Anything else you want to sign off with? We're hit about 5 minutes now, quick and easy. That's what we meant to do here. So anything else you want to sign off with as far as the sales side goes?
No, I think that dealers kind of get data from every vendor that they work with, every manufacturer, every partner. They get it from 20 groups if they're in a 20 group, get data from you. I think our goal here is to try to help dealers narrow down to what are those most important ones, and I don't want to convolute our discussions.
Awesome. Well, week 1 is in the books. Episode 1, I'm not sure if it's on a weekly basis. We'll see. But next time, we're going to go over finance and what's important there. So, Mark, excited to jump in. We're looking for feedback from dealers or anyone else, maybe questions or anything you want us to hit, topics you want us to cover. Super excited to be doing this. Anything you want to say as parting words, Mark?
Now we've put together some website that exists somewhere out there on the interweb. I'm not sure that we actually have a website for that yet, but something we're working on. So place for you guys to submit your questions, or if you don't like what I got to say or what Kyle's got to say, then we're happy to hear and talk about that as well. Awesome.
I'll post that and share that when we have it. Appreciate it, Mark. Looking forward to week 2 and the rest of the episode's coming. With that, we're out. We're out of time. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you riding with us on Raw and Unscripted. KSU. We'll be back next week with more ways to rev up your dealership success. Until next time, keep the throttle wide open.